Greetings, Nick from Sweetwater here, and today we're going to learn how to play the famous verse guitar riff in the Rush classic Tom Sawyer. And we're going to learn it the right way, the Alex Lifeson way. This particular riff is one that's frequently been transcribed and taught incorrectly ever since it came out. And I've got to be honest here, I'm guilty of teaching some people how to play it wrongly. Oh, that hurt, but I deserved it. Anyway, here's a few of the many Tom Sawyer riff misdemeanors that dwell on the YouTubes and the internets.
Guilty of teaching some people how to play it wrongly.
This epic song emerged in 1981 on Rush's Moving Pictures album and quickly became a firm fan favorite. Now, the thing most people get wrong when trying to play this riff correctly, myself included, is at least two of the riff's four main chords. Now, that's a 50% failure rate, my friends. Not a good statistic. In addition to those two mystery chords, there's also a few subtleties that often get overlooked. Anyway, enough blabber, let's get to it. The first chord is an easy one. It's just an E5 chord at the 7th fret, just like this. The next chord, chord number 2, is the first major pitfall. Some play just a regular D5 like this at the 5th fret. Nope, that's incorrect. Some play the open version of that. Incorrect! Some even play an inverted D5 at the 5th like this. In fact, one of the versions I found transcribed on the internet had that in it. That's wrong. Closer to the heart of the matter. See what I did there? Really clever, huh? No, stupid actually. Anyway, this is the bad boy I used to use, the D sus2 shape here. That sounds really close. You can also play it in the open position, which is what some transcriptions have, which is this version here. Both are really close, but they get no carrot. This is actually the weird but wonderful sounding shape Mr. Lifeson actually uses. Check it out. And one more time. Like I said, weird but wonderful. Now, how do I know Mr. Lifeson uses that? Because he did a video on this riff and a few others a couple of years back, so this isn't an educated guess, it's from the Canadian source. Hurrah! Just so you know, I was initially tempted to just refer to this bad boy as the Alex Lifeson chord, but I refrained, and let me tell you why. It just so happens that folks such as Sweetwater's good friend John Petrucci have already dubbed another chord the Alex Lifeson chord. And that chord is the majestic F-sharp 7 sus4 chord he uses to open hemispheres. And it sounds like this. Wow, what a beauty. Now when you play this second chord in Tom Sawyer, try and ensure you hit the open high E string as well. It adds a subtle but cool fullness to the overall effect. Here it is again. And here's what it sounds like without the open E. Still cool, but lacks some luster, so let's keep it in, shall we? On to chord number 3. The next chord is what Alex refers to as an open A with D and G added, and it's this one. Another really full, cool sounding chord, once again. Now technically, just so you know, that's an A7 sus4 shape. Like it. Just so you know, some transcriptions show it played with the G string open like this. Which sounds just fine too, but I'm going to stick with Mr. Lifeson's version, which is this one. So the G string is barred at the 2nd fret, so it's not this. It's this. Subtle, but important. Now the 4th and final chord in the main riff is often played as a C sus2 like this. Once again. And some people play it open like this. Once again. Now just like chord 2, that's close but no carrot. Let's see what he actually plays. What Alex plays for this 4th chord is actually the 2nd chord shape we learnt but moved to the 3rd position instead of the 5th, like this. So logic dictates we'll call this one C sus2/D. Now notice once again that Alex is hitting the high open E string when playing it like this. Here it is without. As you can hear, with the open E string in, it adds even more tension to an already tense sounding suspended chord. Hurrah! Now before each of these 4 chords, Alex does this on the open E string. And it's not palm muted, which really messes with my muscle memory. So remember that, don't palm mute. This is what we've got thus far, played slowly. We do this 4 chord cycle twice, and then we come to this neat 1-bar transition, which sounds like this. One more time, a bit slow. The 3 chords that make this descent up on the A string are this. C add 9, G/B, and then A7 sus4. Once again. Nice. That done, we're now in the final stretch of this great riff, and it starts like this. Here it is again, slowly. As you can hear and see, he's just adding this clever little E motif on the top 3 strings, like this. Here's what he's doing. It starts with 3 hits of this E major shape, followed by a hammer-on with your 3rd finger to the 5th fret on the high E string, like this, making it an E sus4. So it goes, then goes back to, so once more. Just so you know, you can play that fill without moving from the 7th position, like this. As you can see, all I'm doing is just hammering my little finger down to the 10th fret on the B string, so. But to me, this one sounds better. It's brighter sounding, and the hammer using the 3rd finger is much more pronounced and makes it stick out. So I'm going to go that way because that's what Alex does. Next up is this tricky little ditty. Here it is played very slowly. A little bit faster. Now the second shape he uses in this is a real doozy. The first one is great, this one here. Then he moves to this shape. Wow, what a great sounding chord. Now to do that is actually pretty simple. It's a pretty simple maneuver. This is what you do. This is the first chord we play. Then what we do is this. We move our first finger from the B string at the 5th fret to the 5th fret of the G string. And then we move our little finger down from the 7th fret on the G string to the 7th fret on the B. So we're kind of swapping positions. They're doing a little dance. So if you practice that slowly, after a while you get used to it. And then you can get it sussed out. So here again is the whole shebang. Got it? Cool. Let's move on. Next up is this neat little chord progression. And a little bit slower. One more time. Let's break that down. We start off with a good old third chord, the A7 sus4 shape, this one here. Then we go to this one. We lift our little finger off, put our second finger there, and we've got this. That's just the D/E chord. And last but by no means least, we end up on this one here, which I'm going to call E minor 7, because I can. It's my video, darn it. Anyway, so here we go. Now this little part we've just looked at often gets overlooked, but now we know it thanks to Mr. Lifeson. Now the first verse then finishes like this. A little bit slower. Let's break that one down, shall we? And this is the finish line, you'll be glad to hear. This is the last hurrah. Now that's 6 chords in total, and as you may have noticed, the first 3 are the ones we used in our earlier transition, namely these 3. C add 9, to G/B, to A7 sus4. So we know the first half already, so we've just got 3 more chords and then we're done. And you'll be pleased to know that said 3 chords follow the same basic pattern as the 3 before them, except this time we're using the low A and E strings in our descent, not the A and D strings. So this time we go like this. Now I can't work out how many strings Alex is hitting, I'm just hitting the bottom 3, but if you hit all 6 it sounds great anyway, but this is the 3-string version. So the first chord of this last 3 is just a G major. Then the next 3-note beauty is this. I have no idea what it's called, but it really does sound good. I guess if you want to be pedantic, you could call it F sharp minor flat 6, I guess. Or it could just be an inverted D shape because it consists of D, A, and F sharp. And those are the root, 3rd, and 5th of D major. Wow, theory lesson. Anyway, just sounds great. Call it what you will. F sharp minor flat 6 or inverted D/F sharp, whatever. Just like it. And the last shape is actually only 2 strings because I'm muting the D string with the underside of my first finger. I'm just playing an E5 like this. And this bad boy's muted. Go. And there you have it, my friend. A classic rock riff imported from Canada with a seal of approval from Sir Alex Lifeson himself. And as an added bonus, we've got a few more chords we can throw in our drawer, which is marked Alex Lifeson chords. Great stuff. I'm out of here. Have fun. Be safe. See ya! Thank you so very, very much for watching. Now be sure to comment, nicely please, subscribe, and if you like what you saw, you can see more videos like this by clicking here, or if you want, just start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.